I want to talk about coffee, not emotionally, not ideologically, but biologically. Coffee isn't poison. Coffee isn't magic. Coffee is a bioactive substance. And like anything bioactive, it has trade-offs. Today I'm going to walk you through a clear list of micronutrients that coffee can interfere with, why it happens, and just as important, who should care and who probably doesn't need to worry about it at all. First of all, there's two main players, caffeine and then polyphenols. Polyphenols, like chlorogenic acids, these bind certain minerals in the gut and reduce absorption. Caffeine, this can increase urinary excretion of some minerals and mildly affect gut absorption timing. This is not unique to coffee, but coffee is one of the most concentrated and frequently consumed sources of these compounds. Iron, the big one, especially non-heme iron. We'll start with the most important one here. Coffee significantly reduces absorption of non-heme iron, the form found in plant foods. Why? Polyphenols bind iron in the intestine. That iron becomes unavailable for absorption. Drinking coffee right before, with, or shortly after meals can reduce non-heme iron absorption by 40 to 90%, depending on the dose and the timing. Now, important clarification, heme iron comes from meat and is far less affected. That's good for carnivores, right? People eating meat-heavy diets are at lower risk. People relying on plant iron are more affected. And this matters most for menstruating women, people with anemia, plant-based eaters, and frequent coffee drinkers who drink it with meals before or after a meal. All right, let's talk calcium. Small but cumulative effects. Coffee does not block absorption in the gut directly in a major way. However, caffeine slightly increases urinary calcium excretion. We're talking small amounts, but over time, especially with low calcium intake, high coffee intake, aging, and low vitamin D, it can contribute to negative calcium balance. This is more relevant for older adults, postmenopausal women, and people with low dietary calcium. For most healthy adults with adequate intake, this effect is modest, not catastrophic. All right, now let's talk magnesium. Mild loss, but context matters. Caffeine has a mild diuretic effect, especially in people who are not habitual coffee drinkers. This can increase urinary loss of magnesium. Is this dramatic? No, but magnesium deficiency is already common, and coffee does not add magnesium back in meaningful amounts. So in people who are stressed, sweat a lot, exercise hard, or already run low on magnesium, coffee can quietly contribute to depletion over time. Now we're going to talk zinc. Possible interference, less dramatic. Coffee polyphenols may reduce zinc absorption, especially when consumed right before, with a meal, or right after a meal, and meals with high phytates like grains and legumes. This effect is smaller than iron, it's context dependent, and it's more relevant in diets already marginal in zinc. Again, meat-based diets are less effective. B vitamins, these are water soluble. There's some indirect effects here. Coffee does not block B vitamins directly, but caffeine increases metabolic rate. It increases the demand for B vitamins, and it may increase urinary loss of some B vitamins indirectly. This matters most for people under chronic stress, eating low-protein diets, or who are already deficient. Coffee doesn't cause B vitamin deficiency, but it raises the requirement. So, what coffee does not meaningfully block? I'm going to be very clear here. Coffee does not significantly block protein absorption. That's good. Or fat absorption, or the fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. And coffee also does not block heme iron in meat. Yay. So this is not a blanket condemnation of coffee. This is about timing, dose, and individual status. So here's some practical guidance. This is the part that matters. If you want to be smart, not extreme, here's the takeaway. Don't drink coffee with meals if iron status is a concern. Separate coffee from mineral-dense meals by 1 or 2 hours. If you drink coffee, make sure your diet is nutrient-dense. And heavy coffee drinkers should pay attention to iron, magnesium, and calcium. And remember, if your nutrition is solid, coffee's effects are manageable. If your nutrition is poor, coffee can magnify deficiencies. Here's my final takeaway. Coffee is not the enemy, but coffee isn't neutral either. It's a stimulant with real physiological effects, and pretending otherwise doesn't serve anyone. Understand the trade-offs, use timing intelligently, and build your nutrition so coffee doesn't become a silent drain on your micronutrient status. That's not fear, that's respect for biology. If you found this helpful, coffee drinkers, click the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon. Share this. A lot of people don't know this information about some of the micronutrients and with coffee. And if you leave me a question or a suggestion, I'll write you back. Thank you for coming to this one. Stay tuned for my next one tomorrow, and have a good day.